we're going to get into the topics, man. We're just going to start off with the Nerdrotic stuff right off the bat because I saw a lot of people asking questions about it. This is just, I really feel like this is just a bid for attention. And, it seems like this is the biggest tweet they've ever had. Bro, this tweet is at 2.3 million views from an account that has 841 followers. That is insane. Look at this tweet here. I'm going to bring it up on screen really quick. So I have no idea who this is. I honestly saw this by accident. I think it's because obviously since I follow Nerdrotic, if somebody else was mentioning him, it just pops up on my my homepage. But he made this long thread just to give a little bit of context to it, and you guys can sound off. It says Nerdrotic is a piece of shit that we've allowed to operate amongst us for far too long, a thread. So this just screams to me he's trying to copy essentially what's been... There's a lot of this shit happening lately, right? With first Dr. Disrespect and Chris Tyson. Everybody's like, well, I'm going to expose this person in the thread. And now apparently he's going after Nerdrotic. He says, before I focus my attention solely on this garbage, let us first focus on our attention on the explanation of what it is he and his little grifter friends do, explained by one of them. Now, this particular clip I've seen from Jeremy, where if you watch the rest of the stream, you realize that he was just joking and trying to mimic and say exactly what people think of them. But what they did was they clipped it and they made it seem as if he's saying this literally. But I'll play the clip for you so you have the context here.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build a narrative out of it. Don't act like that's not what we do.
I don't build a narrative.
You're
an
absolute
fucking.
You are hot. We do. You've made the same fucking video on the same topic at least 7 times a week, Ryan. And you're going to act like we don't do that.
I talk about,
says one fucking thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do. I welcome to every...
I mean, that's just a YouTube thing, honestly. But anyway, let's continue. That's right, folks. They'll sell you outrage and anger. I mean, that's not what he said, but that's okay.
Well,
this is what they...
Hold up, real quick.
Yep.
First off, do I sound like I'm in a webcam still, or does it sound better?
Yeah, it just sounds echoey. I think that's just your setup right now.
Okay. They're giving the viewers what they want to watch. So how is that exposing DD Cobra or Nerdrotic or anyone? Like, how is that? People want to watch it. People are bored. There's something to watch. Like, what? How is that a problem? Am I crazy?
This is what networks do.
I mean, if you look at any other news agency, right, what do? They report on the same fucking topic over and over again. What were they doing during the coup?
Remember, spent 3 years talking about Russia this, Russia that, with Trump collusion every day for 3 years. I'm pretty sure that's over 1,000 fucking days straight. So
forget that. Remember, I'll prove it to you. Remember when during the coup, right? What did all the mainstream fucking news outlets have, bro? What did they have? They had a death counter, my guy. Like, they were counting how many people were dying every single hour of every single day for over a year. These motherfuckers had a death counter on their news outlets, and they were farming that shit for as long as they possibly could. So to get angry at a YouTuber making a few videos on a topic that's extremely relevant, I think you just don't understand how this kind of media works, or you do understand and you're trying to represent it as something that it's not. Especially since, it's a difference of ideologies, right? So they disagree with him. So because it's something they don't want to see, they call it grifting, whatever. That's besides the point.
And by the way, the death counter thing was frankly, those numbers should have been higher. That made me fucking hard when I saw that death. It was like, yes, less people in line at the bank. Like, I can't wait.
Wow. Also, I mean, it's also inconsistent what this person writes, because she writes that the target demographic might be feeling and heighten the issue rather than tame it. So she acknowledges that the issue exists. So they're pointing out the obvious. They're not making up stuff. They're not creating fiction in order to monetize something that is not true. They do point out something that truly exists, and how they deal with it. That's what's interesting about the show. So the whole point is pointless.
Well, that's why I always bring up the same response, right? So when people call, us grifters or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, all you do is rage bait." My question to them is, what rage are you referencing? Why is there rage in the first place? Are we going to have the conversation as to why people are angry? Why are they upset? You think people just get angry for no fucking reason? You think people are just getting more and more angry by the number? larger and larger amounts every single day for no reason. You call us reactionaries, but then at the same time, you're trying to say we create rage. You can't react. You can't be a reactionary and then create something. You can only react to what's already been created. So if I'm reacting to the rage, where is the rage coming from?
That's
right? They never want to answer that question once we get to that point.
No, what they usually do is to point out, oh, now you are raging. Now you are the one who's violent. Now who's attacking. Like first you provoke people, then you have their reaction, and then you blame the reaction that you wanted to provoke in the first place. Right. It's like manipulation, like Machiavelli 101.
They're using the same tactics as the Westboro Baptist Church, because what people don't realize is that the whole reason they hold up those signs that says God hates the F slur, it's not because they actually hate homos. It's because they're trying to get people to punch them, then they can sue, and then they can win in court and get a bunch of fucking money. Dude, everyone from the Westboro Baptist Church has like nice ass cars and shit. That's what these folks are doing when they're trying to, these right wing misogynistic, alt right Nazi YouTube creators, like they're trying.
They can't even fucking explain what the term means. If you ask them, do you know what the word Nazi actually means? Where it's coming from? They don't even know that. They don't fucking know that.
Hypnotic always says, "Thanks for the free advertising." Like,
yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's all they give you, and they don't even want to admit it. And you know, I gotta laugh at these people every single time they show up, because they say, "Oh, there's no problem," yet you are the problem. You are promoting this nihilistic practice in Hollywood as well. Because I mentioned this like a couple days ago on the gaming side when Smash for some reason showed an article about it that was pretty obvious what they were trying to do, which is you're trying to promote nihilistic practices to make shittier content, and then when people point it out, you get mad at them, but you don't even bother finding out why. So at that point, I just gotta call you a shill cocksucker. Because that's what you are. You're nothing else except a shill cocksucker.
Yeah.
It's also a thing of they don't like the content, right? So they don't like it. For whatever reason, it could be ideologically driven. It could just be not that kind of, not their kind of content, whatever. That's fine. But because they don't like it, that means that the people making it are grifters. It's like it just doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of people who like it. There's a lot of people who enjoy the content. The numbers for these shill, YouTube channels and everything like that are extremely low, right? There's a reason why my secondary clips channel has just passed some of these fucking shill channels that have been doing it for years, and I've only been doing that for 2 months. It's because people are looking for this stuff. They want to see that they're not the only ones that feel this way. You guys got to understand, and by you guys, I mean just people in general, they got to understand that there's people out there that have been thinking this shit for a long time, right? It kind of started back in 2016 with Ghostbusters and whatnot, and it just got a little bit worse and worse as time went on, and people are like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? And then as people start to dive down that rabbit hole and they find out certain information and they find out about YouTube channels like Nerdrotic and whatnot that exists, then they realize, oh, wow, I'm actually not the only one that thinks like this or feels this way. No way. And then they feel like they're part of a community. Then that community ends up growing, and then before you know it, you have a base, you have a YouTube channel. So people
I think also what you're saying is totally right, and I think also that's their major problem, that we have a communal experience while doing this. I think that's the thing that they can't stand the most, because in their echo chamber where they're living in, how they are creating, they feel in like immense solitude. Yes, of course, they have a team of work, but they themselves, they don't have communities like the ones we are having, like the support, the type of thrive that we couldn't produce, how we help each other out. That doesn't exist in their echo chamber. They behave like hyenas.
Ironically, they just want to get angry at someone else getting angry, and they're doing the same damn thing that they're complaining about someone else doing.
Yes, that's despotism, right?
Is this microphone better, by the way?
A little bit,
slightly better. Yeah.
All right.
I just think you need more sound tiles. That's all. Leon, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right.
No, to piggyback off what Coach is saying, like these types of outrage driven lefties that just throw a fit about anything we're talking about, when they have their community, but all they talk about in their community is, because you can go to Reddit pages like Saltier and Crate and shit like that, and they are just looking for the next thing. That's the only thing that holds them together, is them being all collectively upset. Whereas if you took a look at any of us texting each other when we're not doing streams and whatnot, we actually don't talk about woke shit very often. We're all like, yo, what video game are you playing tonight? Or like, hey, like, this is what I cooked for dinner. Like we talk to each other like friends, and then we talk about this shit on stream together. But like Coach, I messaged you the other day about I don't even remember what it was about, but it had fucking nothing to do with culture war shit. It's because we actually have a legitimate community. We have more in common than just being upset about female characters with man jaws in video games.